Alright, so today we're going to go over the new bag complement for Roseville Fire. We had several things come up with the old complement, one being the bags were unable to carry on your back because the straps, every time you set them down, would be contaminated by whatever product that you might set the bag down in. Our new bags eliminate that problem by having the straps on top. So if you set the bag down, getting into the bag allows the straps to be on top and not get contaminated by what's on the ground. Also, the straps are made out of a product that can be cleaned. These new bags, everything has a place that's nice and organized. We'll start up top. Got our king tubes, which are going to be changing here pretty soon. But for now, the king tubes go in here. We also have protection. Got our masks up top. Moving first, we'll start with airway. Have an airway module so that you can hand off the airway module whoever's at the airway and needs to be taking care of that. Open up the airway module. First, you have your McGill's, bougie, and your syringe. Open it up. Everything that you need is right in here. And all of your blades, your handle are nice and kept in here. Anything extra has a nice little bag for it. Neosynephrine, your BAM, tape, lidocaine jelly, so forth. Everything's kept in its nice own compartment, nice and neat, so that when the time comes, you know exactly where it's at and everything has a spot. Moving on from here, we'll go to meds. Again, these ones are labeled medicine. This one's labeled airway. It's color coded, so it's firefighter proof. Open this up. You have your syringes here. Pre-filled syringes up top. Nice and organized. You got your 1, your 3, your 5, your 10, and your 20. Any extras are in the back. Anything extra is behind there. What you need it quick. It's nice and accessible. Open it up. All your drugs are in here. At this time, there's only 2 epi in here, but there will be a total of 4 epi. All of your drugs that are in a ampule or injectable container are kept nice and stored in here where you can easily check the dates and make sure that you have them and you have the appropriate amount. Filter needles fit in right here with the epi so that you can make sure that they're there when you check your stuff out in the morning and they are there where you need them when you need them. Any additional meds or needles are kept in this little compartment here. Also your Benadryl oral elixir. Again, everything's nice and organized, has a compartment. You know where it's at when you need it. Nice thing about all of this, and looking at all the bags that we studied and looked through, is these modules. The modules are nice when you are working a call. You can hand stuff to people and they have everything they need at the time they need it versus having to get into different bags to get something or have to have the whole bag with them. Moving on, I know this one says med. We will change that, we'll say trauma. This is our trauma module. This module here basically eliminates our entire trauma bag or the need of it. We had a lot of excess stuff that we're still going to carry on the engine, but we're not going to carry into every call. Starting here on the left, you have a trauma. One of the things you're going to need, manual blood pressure cuff and stethoscope. Next compartment, bandaging. In this compartment is all your tape, your bandages, your sterile Kerlix, your 4x4s, your sterile 4x4s, your regular 4x4s, Kerlix, tape, single triangle bandage if needed, and anything else that may need to be in there. There's also Band-Aids in the bottom. Trauma shears, easily accessible, nice and see-through so you know where they're at. This here is our infrequently used skills compartment. Got your Ashermans, your petroleum gauze, your tourniquet, and your needle thoracostomy. Everything that is infrequently used is all kept in the same spot so that you know exactly where it's at. Hello, sir. Far compartment over here, trauma dressing, SAM splint. In case for those big traumas, you need the trauma dressing. You still have one here. We could fit 2 in here if need be. However, I think one's going to be sufficient. If the time changes, we need to change it, we can. And then you have 1 SAM splint here. The rest of the trauma stuff will be kept in your spare ALS on the engine. That covers the trauma module. Next, we're keeping this the same. The only thing we're changing, everyone knows, the airway roll. Sorry, not the airway roll, your IV roll. Everything's staying the same except for behind here, we are adding the pressure bag. Pressure bag will be kept with the IV bag so that you know where it's at and it's there when you need it. Separate bag, it's nice and clear so you can see through it, so you can check your stuff in the morning. It's your IO drill bag. That's going to be kept just right here with your IV stuff. Again, it's nice and contained. It has its own spot. It's not going to be floating around. You can hand it to somebody when they need it. As of right now, we're keeping our drugs in here, our narcotics, but that's going to change here pretty soon. But however, the narcotics do fit nice and neat right up in here. Moving on from that, one of the big changes, especially with SSV's new protocols on C-spine and C-spine procedures, we are moving away from carrying the headbeds with us. We're now going to carry just 2 collars. You have your adult collars, and this little compartment here, you have 2 pediatric collars. Again, it's got its own spot, quickly accessible, and it's nice and neat. Go to the other side. I don't know how many times I get to a call and we need to have our BVM and OPAs and NPAs are all in separate areas. Now you open this up. You have a BVM for when you need it, along with your OPAs, your NPAs, and this goes with the BVM for when you need to bag in albuterol to a patient who needs it. It's kept with the BVM so you have it in that time of need. Again, the idea of trying to keep everything contained right where you need it so that you're not going to different bags and having to get into different bags for one procedure. Everything is trying to be streamlined and made simple. The other thing that's nice about this, sorry I missed the top. The way we've been working it, engineer carries this in. 9 times out of 10, we don't even have to get into this bag. The medic is going to be able to do everything they need with their O2 bag and their monitor. We're not using the monitor right now because that's going to stay the same except for the drugs. Stuff we use a lot. Basic trauma stuff. Basic bandaging for cuts and bruises. Band-aids, 4x4s, some Kerlex, some trauma shears, and our thermometer. Also, some units are carrying the lift strap in here as well. This thing sits nice and easy up against the wall, out of the way, and it's actually pretty comfortable compared to the other one. Moving on. Now instead of the big red airway bag, we're going to the basic old airway bag that's nice and light and easy for the medic to carry along with their monitor. In the main compartment, O2 mask and an O2 cannula. 9 times out of 10, we don't need more than one on a call, so the spares are going to be kept in the spare ALS, and we'll restock from AMR as needed. Stethoscope, and again, a blood pressure cuff. So those times you need to take a manual blood pressure cuff and you don't want to get into the trauma kit, it's here, it's handy. The idea being that Most calls that we go on, we can handle with this in the monitor and only get into the red bag when needed. Also inside here, obviously we have our O2 bottle and everything else that goes with the O2 bottle. We have our flow meter and extra flow port for the in case you need to use the CPAP and albuterol at the same time. It's handy. It's right here where it's needed to be when you need it. Over here, these will be labeled. We have one for albuterol, one for ipratropium. They're contained right here. You can easily pull them out, and they're nice and accessible when you need them. Speaking of CPAP, it's got its own compartment. Pull it out, it's ready to go. These ones actually do carry the adapter that's needed, but we will also put the adapter that we've been carrying in the red bag in here as well. On this side, again, with the thought being those red bags, every time you open them up to get into, use some type of airway, whether it be a nasal cannula, airway mask, you open that thing up and you can't tell what's different from the pediatric, the handheld nebulizer. It's kind of a mess. In here, you have your nebulizer mask, handheld nebulizer, real easily separatable, real easy to see when you need it. And the pediatric stuff is contained separately in this little bag here. Again, simply just being a pediatric mask and a pediatric nebulizer. These bags are also see-through, so in your morning checks, you can just look right in there and make sure that you have what you need. The only thing that's going to be changing with the monitor, we're now going to be carrying our aspirin, nitro, and Zofran in the monitor for those cardiac calls. Easily accessible, and we don't have to get into our med bag on every chest pain call. Last but not least, it's going to be the airway. Again, trying to keep things all together. We're going to move all of our French catheters into the suction so that they're there if you need them. That's about it. The only thing else that's going to change is those orange boxes, the Pelican cases that keep everything nice and organized, are going to be moving towards moving to contain everything for a spare ALS. So instead of having a clunky, broken, clear container, everything will be nice and packaged into the orange Pelican box, nice and organized, and it fits in the compartments nicely. Thank you.